Okay, here is a lower body warm-up for you. I generally like my lower body warm-up to have some body weight movements, some resistance band, work for activation, and then a little bit of cardio to get my heart rate up, to get me going to work directly into my workout. So starting with body weight squats and really squeezing at the top and activating those glutes, leaning back into my heels, activating my core by pulling my belly button in tight, and then really just starting to work into a little bit deeper range of motion, squatting all the way down, a little bit movement back and forth to get those hips going, and then coming back up and adding the resistance band in. If you don't have a resistance band, you can do all of these movements without it. I just like it to really start to fire up my glutes and my hips a little bit more. So moving into a squat with a pulse. Again, if you don't have a band, you can do this just body weight and just getting low into that squat position, really pushing through the heels, activating the glutes, keeping those knees wide, start to get a little bit of a burn going in the thighs, and then into a lateral step out. If you don't have the band, then you just lower down a little bit deeper into a squat to really get the hip activated. Again, holding your belly tight to start engage your core and warm that up a bit as well. Then shifting that band down to the lower portion of your leg, around your calf and shin area, and then doing some straight leg hip extensions, again to really get into the glute. The lower your band goes and the further you push your leg back, the more resistance you create. So if you are not ready for that higher resistance, then move that band a little bit higher up, closer to your knee or even above your knee. And then switching over, of course, you want to do both legs. So again, activating the glutes. I really like that tactile feedback when you place your hand on the muscle to really feel it engage under your fingers, and you know that you're really getting good motion with it. And then after the straight leg extension, moving to the floor with the band up around your thighs again, just above your knees, into a bridge. As you push up, you're thinking about squeezing your glutes, pushing your heels down into the floor, but at the same time starting to pull them back towards you. Now, you're not moving your feet across the floor, it's just that you're pushing down with your heels as you're kind of engaging your hamstrings and pulling to really squeeze your glutes at the top. Your knees are pushing wide, and then just giving that pulse at the top, you can really start to get that activation going. Some hip abduction there with a bridge, a few pulses in between. Start to really feel like where your body is at for the day, where maybe you need to do a little bit more work to get the warm up going a little bit further and more in depth. Then moving over onto your belly, doing some bent knee hip extension here. This is really good to activate even into the deep muscles of your core and your lower back. So think about pushing both of your hip bones down to the floor as you're pushing that leg up towards the ceiling, that foot up towards the ceiling. You should start to feel that right there in your glute, maybe into your hip because of the band, into your lower back, and just breathing through that as you start to feel the burn. And now back up with the band off. And this is the portion that I like to get a little bit of cardio going, really get my heart rate up a little bit before I hit my workout. Starting with jumping jacks, you can do arms just straight up and down to the side. You can move them to the front. You could even go with a modified jumping jack here and just do a step out. And then into a lateral lunge or a skier kind of motion. I guess that's more of a skater motion than a skiing motion. Just a little bit of dynamic movement. And now into a lunge. Really be sure that you're pushing your hips back, pushing through the heel, keeping your belly tight, just starting to increase that movement speed and pace and intensity to get you ready for your workout.